It got so freaking loud in that room. We were arguing so freaking loud that the store manager came in and had to cool him down. Now it gets interesting even more. Yeah, up to this point, I was missing days here and there. I'm not sure what the roll off is. I think it's 6 months or something before, an absence rolls off or whatever. But as we were approaching September and October, one of my relatives passed away, my uncle. And I told management that I needed this day, and this day off. I even told the store manager that. Because we get the funeral stuff taken care of. At the funeral. This, and this, and this, and I need these days off. Okay, John, we need to get with personnel and them. And I contacted, Big L and a couple other managers, and I told them, I missed these days. I had a funeral to go to. I need you guys to go in the system and mark it down as excused. I told that before I left, and I told that to them when I came back. I was like, did you guys go in the system and mark those as excused? It was, we haven't gone in the system yet. And then at some point I reminded them again. I'm like, did you go in the system and check? So freaking a different manager told me, yeah, I'm gonna check it out and excuse it today. And then I went back to go check on those absences, and it still said it was unexcused. And then I bugged him and kept telling him. I even told a couple other different managers. And honestly, I don't think they ever excused those absences. So I was dealing with a relative passing away, and Walmart's such a shady motherfucker that even their managers can't even excuse somebody for a death in the family. Yeah, okay, it was my uncle, it wasn't a mother or father or whatever, but they knew the days I was going to be out. And they didn't excuse him. And now ain't that some shit? So those were probably on my record still. So I had some absences before that, and then probably those went unexcused, and they never corrected them like they told me they would. So I missed another couple days, day here and a day there. The last day I missed was near the New Year. It was like the 3rd or the 2nd of January. And from what I read, it's like a 12-point system or something, or somebody said it's like a 12-point system or something, where if you exceed a certain amount of points, you get the machine has to terminate you, or they have to terminate you. So anyways, I'm stalking. Manager says, John, I need to see you in the office. Sit down, wait for the other guy. He says, the Big L comes in and he says, you know why we're here, right, John? I'm like, yeah. I know, I have a feeling. Your points for absences are 9 or 8. They exceeded the last point you had. So we gotta terminate you. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, have to terminate me? Nah, you don't. Because in reality, they didn't have to terminate me. They didn't have to. They could have just gave me a warning and said, John, if you get one more absence, you're terminated. Not at all did they give me any kind of warning saying, John, if you get one more absence, you're terminated. John, you need to watch your absences. Next one you get could mean you're fired. They never once said any of that. Keep in mind, this is the same Big L that I've had problems with in the past. And I'm just like, man. Wow. I need you to hand in your badge and stuff, and I'm giving him all my stuff and whatnot, and handing in all my shit. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you have to terminate me based on my attendance, huh? You have to terminate me based on my attendance because you can't terminate me for anything else. You can't get me for productivity. You can't get me for being too slow. You can't get me for talking a certain way. You can't get me for none of that shit. So you went for the lowest thing you could get me for, and that was my attendance. That was the only thing you could get me for. So you, Mr. Big L, He went that far. He got me for the cheapest thing, attendance. Because he couldn't get me for nothing else. Because I embarrassed him in the freaking room when he called me in there for that manager discussion shit. I embarrassed his ass in there. The store manager came in there and told him to pipe down. And because I embarrassed him, he chose to terminate me. I can guarantee you that's the whole thing. I embarrassed him a week before my termination. And then a week later I get terminated. And he gets me on, the only thing he can get me on is attendance. And I know for a fact that there's people that work at that store that have shitty attendance. Crappier attendance than I did. And they still had a job there. Why? Because they slapped a Band-Aid on it and said, okay, we know you missed a lot, but you're still employed. They could have easily said, John, just watch your attendance. Just watch yourself. They never once did that. But there's plenty of other people that work at that company that are shitty fucking employees that miss a lot of days, way more than me. And they still have a job over me? Yeah, because he was out for revenge. Let's face it, he was out. I embarrassed him. I called him out on all of his bullshit, and he knew there was one way to get me. I can't get John on anything. He's too good of an associate. Oh, but see, his attendance, that's my ticket. And I guarantee you, he thought like that. And to make this matter even more bullshit, guess what? He terminated me when the store manager was on vacation. Tell me it doesn't get any shadier than that. Because probably he knew that if the store manager was there, I would have went straight to him and this whole thing would have never happened. He chose his timing. He waited for the store manager to leave and go on vacation to call me in the office and terminate me based on my attendance because he couldn't get me for nothing else. Oh, and he has the gall to say right before I leave and walk out of that job, he has the gall to tell me, John, you can be eligible for rehire in 6 months. Yeah, after you just singled me out for termination, you're going to tell me I'm eligible for rehire in 6 months. When you just chose to do me dirty and terminate me during the store manager's vacation, and because I embarrassed your ass in front of people and embarrassed you and made you look bad and called you out on your bullshit, yeah, congratulations. I'm not coming back to work for you or that store. So many shady things and practices go on at Walmart's. But man, like I said, my first experience wasn't all that bad. That first 3 years I was there, I mean, it was pretty solid. Again, I only had a few disagreements with my bosses that first 3 years. A few altercations, a few things here and there. That first 3 years was fine. When I came back, we had different bosses, different managers, and Big L was one of the ones in charge now. Notice he wasn't the one in charge then, but he's in charge now, and it just so happens that the second run that I had is shitty compared to the first one. But guess who's not in the first one? Big L. That one's fine without Big L. Big L's in this one, and this whole one went to shit because he's so full of himself. He thinks he's the smartest motherfucker in the room. He talks down to people, makes them feel like crap and garbage, like he's something almighty and he knows no wrong. Then he lies about shit that he says to call in managers to back up his support and his false claims. Has to attack somebody on attendance because he can't get them on nothing else. It's kind of ridiculous. But hey, that's my Walmart stories for you. Uh, I might do some more of these in the future and tell you like some customer stories, stuff like that. But this is just a test to see what you guys think, and I was just giving you guys kind of an experience of Walmart through my eyes, just some portions of it here and there. Again, my first run was great. My second one, not so much. But there were different people running the places then. People that were cool the first time, and people that were so full of shit and full of themselves the second time, they couldn't let no one have a moment. But thanks for tuning in to Tyson's Paradise. This is my Walmart experience, or experiences. Catch you later.